Hey, good morning, loves. Tracy Lee, Self-Love Life Coach, coming to you live. Walk-in Suki Sophia. It'll be a quickie walk and talk because I have a client in a few minutes, and then Self-Love Masterclass. But I wanted to check in with you guys on one of the things, what kind of things really light you up, what things from the outside make you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. How does your body feel when you're talking to certain people? Wait, Suka. It's super important that you notice. Hey, Mercedes. It's super important that you become adept and expert at noticing what you're feeling. Hang on, there's a car coming. Go ahead. You're welcome. Most of the time what we have been taught is that it's somebody else's job. It's our husband's job, our wife's job, our boyfriend's job, our girlfriend's job, our bestie's job to notice what I'm feeling and tend to me. If you loved me, you would notice that I am sad or angry or happy or whatever. And truly that's not true. It's never, never, never outside of ourselves. So it's always my job to notice myself. And I do it with a bit of curiosity energy. That saves me from the big judgmental critical energy. Oh, notice that. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit with, not from a professional standpoint, but just by happenstance at a party, a man who was deeply grieving. And afterwards, when he left and there were 2 or 3 of us around, we talked about what it felt like. And it felt in my body like this real heaviness, like my skin had gotten heavier. And literally, like my skin got heavier and was pushing in on me. That's how it felt on my body. And I want to encourage you guys to begin to notice where you feel emotions in your body, what happens in your body when you're feeling certain things, and become expert at noticing yourself. It is really, really important. I noticed one morning this week when Bay woke up, hadn't in a little bit of a grumpy mood. And I'm not at all complaining about that. Lord knows I sometimes wake up in a grumpy mood. But what I noticed in myself became really important. Because had I not noticed what was happening for me, go ahead, Sook, I might have reacted or responded differently from a place of unconsciousness, from a place of fear. But instead, come on, let's sit on the swing, Suki. But instead, I noticed how I was feeling and just sat with it and pulled the thread of self-discovery. And what I realized, and then part of my process is I share that with the people in my life, the besties in my life, to further unravel it and so that we can learn together. And what I noticed was this paradigm of women who, for generations and generations and generations, really and truly, ladies, if you're listening, and men who are listening, it hasn't been that long in this country, really, that women weren't dependent upon men for safety and dependent upon men for their well-being. I mean, really and truly, in my mother's life, she couldn't own a house, she couldn't own property, she couldn't own a business without a man signing. So that's, even in my lifetime. No, probably in the 50s. But in any event, if the man was not okay, it makes sense that the women would feel unsafe or nervous. And I really believe that those of us who are doing this kind of work are not just healing ourselves, but we are also healing generation and generation and generation, lifetime and lifetime and lifetime of paradigms that are no longer serving the planet. So it was very interesting to sit in that, to really pull it out and look at it, to realize that it's not in alignment with my truth. It's not in alignment with my authentic truth in the slightest bit. There wasn't anything about me that wasn't safe. Good morning, Walter Kurt. And so it's only in the noticing of self, in the practice of noticing self. Oh, I noticed that when that happened, my stomach felt tight. I noticed when that happened, my cheeks felt like they hurt because I couldn't stop smiling. I noticed, so I really want you today, and every day, but today, play with it. Play with me today. And play with noticing what you're feeling and noticing yourself, noticing your emotional body, noticing your physical body, noticing your intellectual body, your spiritual body, and your energetic body as well. Really see if you can turn the volume up on that so that you can be the authority instead of the outside in. So this is getting deeper than I thought I was going to go. But the truth is, when I notice myself, hi noisy bird, when I notice myself, can you hear those birds? They talking. Oh, good, Mercedes. I love that you have a few people you can try that with. And you can always try it with me, and you guys can try it here. You can always message me or whatever. When I notice myself, when I become adept and expert at noticing self, it puts me in the powerful position, not forceful, but powerful position to be able to choose what I do next, how I interact and be in the world, which is an incredibly powerful thing. When I continually put my feelings and my experiences outside of me and I make them your fault or somebody's fault, right? In that case, that morning it would have been Bay's fault because he woke up in a bad mood and that made me feel whatever it made me feel. No, I'm responsible for that. And when I can notice what I'm feeling gently, lovingly, no judgment, no criticism, just sit with it, pull the thread, pull the thread, pull the thread as much as I can. There are going to be some ahas in there. When I get to the ahas, then I can decide how I want to be, who I be, or I can remember the truth of who I be. In that situation, the truth of who I be is I make my safety. I decide if I'm safe. I'm responsible for me. So it put me back in the power position of self, which is where we really and truly, that's the optimal position. Make sense? So scanning to see if there's anything else. Feels like a lot. Let me know how you go today. Noticing self. Love you guys. Speak soon.